So what is bullying? The definition of bullying, there are many definitions, but I want to go ahead and give you one that I've seen many other psychologists, counselors that have shared with me. Bullying is unwanted and aggressive behavior that involves an imbalance of power and it is repeated. So there's about three things here, right? So what's the first thing? Unwanted and aggressive behavior. You know, so a lot of times we hear, oh, boys will be boys. It's okay, they're just roughhousing. No, if it's unwanted, if one other individual, male, 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 female, 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 older kid against an older kid, if it's unwanted and it's aggressive behavior, that is one of the forms of bullying. Number two, an imbalance of power. Right? When someone knows that they could overcome them, they could overpower them emotionally, socially, physically, that is another definition of what bullying is. Because now they have unwanted aggressive behavior. Number two, an imbalance of power. And the third thing that many individuals have discussed, are psychologists and educators who have been dealing with bullying, is it is consistently repeated. So you'll see this idea of someone who is being aggressive, having an imbalance of power, and they're constantly repeating this. Now, someone might say, well, no, it's only happened to me one time because the kid went to the park. So again, that is also bullying too. But what we want to look at is when there's a pattern, even if sometimes it could be at school, sometimes on the internet, someone's constantly harassing them, and it could be at the park. Right? So I want you to realize, even if it happens once and hopefully they tell us, but a lot of times kids don't tell us that first time. But if they come up to you, I guarantee you at least a few times it has happened that someone's been bothering them. And then you got to realize, okay, were they being aggressive? Is it an imbalance of power? Right? And then also at the same time it's being repeated, right? Because you always have to make sure you get that information to get the facts. So if you're an educator listening to this, if you're a parent, you'll still need to get the facts to make sure that, wait a minute, your child wasn't the one who's being picking on them, and then, you know, the child kind of switched it, the other individual got aggressive. But that's why getting the understanding of, hey, unwanted, there's no reason, it's just someone came up to them, start picking on them, balance of power, scaring them, and then even to have repeated it, even if they did it once, but they constantly are doing this to them, is something to kind of keep in mind. And sometimes you might even see that it happens even in the house. Some siblings who are constantly over and over bothering them, knowing they're bigger than them. They know they could physically beat them. And that way you'll see that sometimes even that bullying is not just at school, community, park. It could also happen in your house. So keep that in mind.